remarkable things, but their debt to Egypt was profound. And they admitted that. They admitted it. Even the gods, they took Zeus and all sorts of gods and goddesses out of Egypt. The goddess of chastity is Artemis, a black woman. Circe in the Odyssey is a black woman with African features, not just ritually black. Andromeda is represented as a woman with black skin in some of the early Grecian vases. Andromeda, who married Perseus, the Greek hero. And Medea, who helped Jason win the golden fleece, is represented as a black woman. And Isis, the mother of God, the sister of God, the wife of God, the female principle of the divine. She is not just worshipped among Africans, she becomes the major figure among the Europeans. Even Caligula, the Roman lunatic, worshipped Isis. It is found even in the British Isles. And Isis and Horus were first seen as Mary and Jesus, until Michelangelo comes in the scene and starts painting his family as Jesus.
Pythagoras. Of course, we know Pythagoras. There is no Pythagoras, you see. When the text said that when Plato learned that these people, they have their knowledge from Kemet, so he decided to go to Kemet himself. Yes. And he built a school. He is one of the genius in wisdom, in philosophy, in Sophia. But they didn't have the word Sophia. So he spent 22 years in Kemet to study. In Memphis, Mennefer, in Heliopolis, and Waset in Thebes too. And he stayed there. They say, I want to know this. I want to go to the temple. They say, no. You don't go to the temple. He say, why? Because you are not circumcised, you see. You must be circumcised so you can go to to go this place. He said, look, Dumutu, the first Greek in the world, in history, to be circumcised is God. Yeah.
Intestinal disease and all that 1,500 years before Christ. Africans.
Architect responsible for the design of the step pyramid was a man named Imhotep. Imhotep was recorded in history as the world's first multi-genius. He is a prime minister to Zoser. He was a poet, a philosopher, a physician. He is considered to be the author of the world's oldest medical treatise ever written. It is a document that is now called the Edwin Smith Medical Papyrus. This book describes 48 different injuries to the head, to the face, to the neck, and the spinal column.
Was then experimental surgery in Europe.
No wonder Mama sent me to college. No wonder she said, son, remember the powers in the knowledge.
Point to the fact that the calendar we use today is derived from the Egyptian. They were the first people to invent the second of time, the second of art, the hour, the minute. Their astronomical observations over many years produced these ideas, these precise quantities and volumes and times and standards which were later to dominate the world. The Babylonians did not have any proper calendar. The Egyptians had the 365 and a quarter days. That calendar was invented in Ethiopia since 4241 BC. And before I leave Egypt, as I say, I don't want to dwell too much on that, but
there was even a system of writing that we know about, at least not one that anyone has ever discovered. If there is such thing as a father of medicine, it is this man or it is no one, Imhotep. Even though he lived 3,000 years before Hippocrates, we actually know more about him than we know about Hippocrates. We knew who his parents were, we knew where he was born, where he was raised, what he did. He was, as Sir William Osler, and this was Osler's institution right here. Osler practically founded this institution, did he not? Osler said of Imhotep, and by the way, Osler himself was, I've read some books by Osler. Osler was no joke. He was real. He was a real Renaissance physician, one of the last in this country anyway. And what does he say about Imhotep? The first figure of a physician to stand out clearly from the mists of antiquity. Or as I like to call him, the first universal genius of whom we have any knowledge. He was prime minister under Djoser, so therefore a statesman. He was renowned as a philosopher and a purveyor of oral wisdom. He was an architect of genius, having designed and built the step pyramid of Saqqara, but above all, he was a divinely gifted physician. So great was his renown as a physician that by the 6th century BC, he became deified as a physician and worshipped by the Greeks, including Hippocrates. Because Asclepios was identified with Imhotep. So when you worship Asclepios, you would worship Imhotep. So in the Hippocratic Oath, when the physician says, I swear by the god Apollo and I swear by the god Imhotep, I swear by Asclepios, he is in fact swearing by Imhotep.